stop.
City Council meeting. We'll call this meeting to order. We will go ahead and start with the Pledge of Allegiance by Councilman Williams. The opening prayer, Mayor Justin Sipp is not with us this evening, so I will go ahead and offer that prayer following the Pledge of Allegiance.
Please follow me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Father in heaven, we're grateful at this time to bow our heads before thee. We're most especially grateful for the rainfall that we've had and pray that the damage by heavy rains will be minimal and that we'll be able to enjoy this moisture to help fill our reservoirs and provide water for this valley. We're grateful for the city council that we have, for their work and energy that they put forth in preparing for meetings, as well as for our mayor for the hard work that he does. We're grateful for the staff that we have in this city, for the public works group as well. Pray that will bless them for their diligent energy and be able to show appreciation for the things that they do. We pray that we'll have thy spirit to guide and direct us this evening as we make decisions on behalf of the city. And ask for these blessings in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Can you do that in Portuguese?
I found out I thought I knew some Portuguese. I found out I know nothing. Okay, approval of the agenda order. And disclosures or declarations and conflicts from city council members and mayor.
I'll move to approve the order of the agenda.
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, no conflicts?
No.
Disclosures, no.
Okay. Looking for an approval and of the meeting minutes for October 1st, city council meeting, and also for the city expenditures for September of 2005.
I'll make a motion to approve the city council meeting for October 1 minutes.
We have a motion and a second, and since this is a financial issue, we'll go ahead and do roll call.
I just did the
You just did
meeting.
the
I just did the meeting.
Minutes.
I didn't do.
Oh, you just did the
Yeah, I
minutes?
didn't do the.
I'm sorry, okay.
If you
All
want me
right,
to.
all in favor then of the October 1 minutes?
Aye.
Aye. Review and possible approval of city expenditures for September 2025.
I didn't see anything that stood out for me, so I don't have any questions. I'll make a motion that we approve the city expenditures for September 2025.
Second.
Okay, let's have our roll call vote now. We'll start with you, Joey.
Aye.
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 Okay. Thank you. And then we will now open up for public forum. Is there anyone out in the audience here that would like to take 3 minutes of their time discussing an item that is related to the city and not on the agenda? Any takers? Okay, we'll move forward then. We'll go ahead and open up for a public hearing at this time.
Let's get a motion to open up public hearings. Let's do a motion and then read the line item.
Thank you. We'll go ahead and have a motion to open a public hearing.
Public hearing.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, public hearing is open. Any comments from the public related to the adoption of a joint agency regional water conservation plan?
I'll move to close the meeting, the public hearing.
Motion to close public hearing?
Hey,
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we're ready for our business items. Business item number 1, resolution adopting the joint agency regional water conservation plan. We've talked about this in the past 2 meetings, and it looks like we need to make a decision to adopt this. Is there anything that's changed since our last meeting? The document's still the same?
correct. Yep, no changes made.
Okay. Any comments from the council?
I think like it was, like we talked about before, I think 2 things stand out. One is that we don't have to finance our own water conservation plan every 5 years. And then the second thing is that it's not mandatory, correct? So,
Okay, any other comments? I would just like to point out and reiterate what I stated at the last meeting, the fact that the city has cut or saved in water conservation 27% thus far, and the district is asking for another 14% on this plan. If you could go to page 6 and scroll down to the 3rd paragraph, and it says, and I'll go ahead and read it here. If I can see it, the district, scroll up just a little bit more, the other way, sorry. The district has Is that page 6?
Yeah, this is page 6.
That's the bottom of page 6.
Let me see if I can find it here. There we go. Okay, there we go. That's what I'm looking for. Despite its breadth of responsibilities, the district does not have authority to regulate water used by end users, set retail water rates, establish and enforce policies, codes, or other ordinances, or manage growth. These responsibilities lie with the towns and the cities. So I just wanted to stress that this is a plan. This plan has goals, but the city is still the ones that will go ahead and regulate and take care of enforcement. If we could also turn to page 24. And I just wanted to point out there that, can someone tell me what an ERC is?
Equivalent residential.
Residential, okay.
Connection.
All right, so if you look at this chart here, it shows, go down to Tocqueville City. I don't know if you can blow that up at all, Emily, or not. But, and scroll over to that last column there, showing the peak day demand and showing the acre feet per ERC. And right there is Tocqueville. Look at that and compare that to all the other partners that we have in the regional agency. Tocqueville is coming in lowest on the first column and very close to Virgin on the second one, both lower than any other area. So it goes to show that we are doing a pretty good job on the portable water side of things. And if you could look at page 10. This may seem to be a little more aggressive than I think is necessary for our town. You'll see that in 2025, that the district is expecting us to reduce it the following year, and the following year, and the following year, and the following year. There's only so much blood you can squeeze out of a turnip. And so I don't know if we've got close to maximizing our conservation efforts, and we're going to have a difficult time. But that is their plan, to reduce it for the next 5 or 6 years, and then it will level off when we have when we get down to I think it's 54 acre feet from 54 acre feet from 64 acre feet annually. So it's an aggressive plan as far as I'm concerned. But as you pointed out earlier, it's a plan. No one's going to go to jail if they're not in compliance. And every other regional participant has already signed off on this plan. And did you have a comment, Ben?
Some of them are still considering it. There's a few council meetings this evening where they're considering adoption. So it's not
the
fully
majority.
signed off,
The majority has already signed on.
Right.
And it's the district's responsibility to have a plan, and all the actions and that they are taking to help the conservation effort. They're all positive actions. So, my personal opinion is that we would go ahead and sign off on this plan. My personal opinion, anyway. And but keep in mind that we've been doing, I think, better than most others as far as water conservation goes.
Is that a motion?
Is that a motion?
I thought I heard a motion.
Okay. I move that we go ahead and approve Resolution 2025XX, a resolution adopting a joint agency regional water conservation plan.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, motion passes. Next discussion item is on street identification change application submitted by Jeffrey Wilmette. And I will open that up for discussion now.
This is a really, really hard one. This is a really tough
This is really
decision.
hard. Do you want to take a moment and tell us what you'd like to do?
Sure.
You came here tonight, so I want to give you a little chance to speak about this.
Okay. Simply, we're just looking to change the name from Hunter Lane to Heartland Ranch Road, and it's part of a private drive down there. And we've got all the property owners signed off on it. That's about it.
Okay. All right. Do I hear a motion?
How much does it cost to do that?
500 to the city and then 250 to make the sign.
Just curious.
Just curious. Yeah.
It didn't cost the city 500, you paid
You
500.
Yeah.
I paid the city
Yeah.
500, yeah.
Yeah, I'll make a motion, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, that we approve the street identification change submitted by Jeff Wilmot.
Second.
Okay. Any more discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so moved.
Thank you.
Okay, our next agenda item, thank you for coming, is discussion on possible action on MOU for the Westfield Connector Road access. So I'm open for discussion on that.
Do you want me to explain that a little bit?
Who wants to explain it?
Either way.
I'm okay either way. Also, yeah, so there's been a lot of public feedback that it would benefit the community to have access to the parkway from the Westfield neighborhood. There's been a lot of conversations over the last few months with the developer, with the property owner, about how we can get that done. Ideally, I think everybody wants to see a nice paved road through there to enable an all-weather access that's easy to maintain. This is a bit of a compromise because the city essentially doesn't have a tool or any ability to require the developer to make that improvement prior to when the development is actually happening. And so we have a verbal agreement with the property owner that they would be willing to engage in this type of an MOU. So this is essentially a proposal to the developer. It hasn't been signed by them. But what this does is it essentially allows the city, what we're calling it is that the technical term is not an easement because it's temporary, it's license. So license to use this as a point of access. The improvements would be the responsibility of the city, as would any ongoing maintenance. And due to the material on this access road, it would not be an all-weather road. And so it would be subject to closure in inclement weather. And I think that pretty much brings us up to where we're at with this. It would be subject to revocation by the property owner at their discretion. So this could be something that we open in 2 weeks, and then for some reason that not required, the developer would give us, I believe, 30 days notice.
We asked for 30 days written notice. So they'd have to provide 30 days written notice that they were going to revoke the license, essentially that they wouldn't let us use the road anymore. And they can do that at any time.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Any other comments?
I had a couple of questions. And so one is, do we know what the cost of the improvements and the maintenance is going to be just to get it going?
Yeah, this has been estimated at a couple $1,000s simply because there's already been, that road's been blocked off at the request of the contractor of the parkway. And so it'd require some removal there, or to require some posts to be put up. And then depending how much improvement we want to do, we're probably looking at a couple $1,000s, assuming that we'd likely want to get a grader out there, which the city doesn't have the equipment for. So we'd have to pay for a grader to blade the road. And that would be the extent of the improvement that I would recommend, simply because this is what we're trying to do, is get that access at the cheapest possible cost to the city.
And then, I mean, it'd be an ongoing maintenance with the road grader, depending on weather and everything else. So
Yeah.
that would be, okay.
There is the alternative that the city could just open it up as is. I think probably most of you are familiar with the road. It would likely not be traversable by sedan, probably, you know,
Okay.
high clearance 4-wheel drive type situation, but
Okay, and then we talked a little bit about this, but I think we ought to somehow develop plan policy for weather and weather closures, whether we're going to be proactive or reactive, and how we're going to do that. And if it's in the afternoon, evening, are we calling Public Works in on after hours, or somehow we need to develop that. So I think that would be important. The other thing would be is we need some sort of venue that we can notify our residents that it's closed, so that they can add that whatever time for not being able to use Westfield Road. So those are a couple of thoughts. And then the last one I had is on number 10, the signage requirement. It says temporary access only, road is not fully improved, proceed at your own risk, temporary road subject to closure by landowner or by city due to weather.
good point.
So,
Yeah, that's a good point. I think that's important to add. We could put something like subject to closure at any time by landowner or city.
Yeah.
That way it's just known that it could be closed.
that's all I have, Gary.
Well, some of the things that you pointed out were valid, especially every time it rains, we're going to need to get a grader out there. We're going to need to get city public works out there to fix the road. I think that when it comes to the cost to the taxpayers of the city, we don't really know what that's going to be, how expensive it could turn out to be or inexpensive. The developer isn't obligated, of course, to have a timeline of when they decide to put that road in. It could be 6 months from now, it could be 6 years from now. So I just wanted to make it clear, there are a lot of citizens that feel that the developer is bound to do that. And the developer basically is bound to provide secondary access or excess egress from fires. And that was their commitment with respect to them building in that particular area. So, but I'm looking at the fact that we're spending city money for a small population of the residents that would want to use that. And I did a count on the homes out there. Those closest, there were only 29 homes. The next block over that goes out to Lake Lane, there were 56 additional homes. So you've got 85 homes that we're trying to do something for. We got 750 homes in the city. So that means that we're spending city money for just 11% of the residences that are in that particular area. The other thing I noted that if you're going southbound, actually, if you Google that, you'll find that heading southbound, you're not going to use that anyway, because it's actually faster to come through Westfield and then head, north, head north. It's faster to go that way.
Say that again, Gary.
Well, if you look at the difference of what the residents would be doing now
Okay.
compared to having access to that dirt road, they're actually it's actually 0.2 of a mile less to follow what they've been doing all along.
And not use Westfield.
And well, using Westfield.
Using Westfield.
Using Westfield. Now, going the other way, it's going to take an extra 5 minutes. And so I'm like, because it's like an extra 2.5 miles that they're going to travel. So I'm thinking to myself, for 11% of the residents to spend money, not having an exact amount of dollars and cents attached to it, just for that group to save or spend 5 minutes more by going through Westfield. I don't know that I can cost justify that in my head. So, and I don't know if I've explained myself clearly enough on this, but I just feel like it could be 2,000, it could be 10,000, it could require more maintenance than we anticipate. We don't know what the weather's going to be. And I just feel uncomfortable about that, in addition to the fact that most auto insurance policies don't cover car accidents if they're off-road. And this would be considered an off-road incident. And where does the liability come in to play now if the auto insurance company doesn't cover an accident that happened there? We could be looking at some potential liability issues as well. I don't know. Do you have any comment on that?
Yeah, that's an interesting thought. That's something I'd have to look into more. That's something I hadn't thought of, to be truthful. So that's a good point.
So the same with towing services as well. They wouldn't apply to someone that's stuck on that road. So that, and
I do think the signage that we're requiring to be posted helps exculpate the city as far as liability goes. I mean, it says use at your own risk. We can add to that too to make it clear that, this is a road that's not approved. It doesn't meet like the, standard requirements, things like that, I think could really help to exculpate the city from liability.
yeah, and once again, you're only looking at high clearance vehicles that, would be able to use that regularly. So I'm just sharing my opinion on that at this point. I just don't feel like I want to spend city money for 85 homes.
What's your solution? What's your solution?
Let's continue doing what we've been doing for the last 20 years until the developer decides he's going to put that road in there.
It's a little, I mean, there was temporary, I don't know if temporary inconvenience is the right word, but there was a temporary inconvenience while we were doing both tie-ins. So now that the tie-ins are done, we're back to the way it was for the
Correct.
last 20 years or what have you.
Correct.
So, yeah.
And those individuals that want to go northbound, like I said, it is going to be an extra 5 minutes for 85 homes that decide they want to go northbound. I think the extra 5 minutes isn't going to hurt if they have to do that for another 1 to 2 years before the developer's ready. I just don't know how to justify the other 650 residents in this town that have gained nothing from us doing this roadway.
What if we look at it as a hybrid situation where we sign the MOU but we don't, as a city, enforce anything so that we do have a secondary egress if the bridge has an issue. We still have the secondary egress no matter what.
We still have
So I
it.
guess it doesn't really matter in that way. But
Now, if somebody decides to use that, I don't know, do we need to have it chained up? Or if it's a secondary egress, then basically I
we need is,
I have reservations about having
Yeah.
a chain with a lock on it.
we don't legally require to have a secondary egress because there's no more building lots.
We don't.
Approved at that time. So that was what the fire district wanted, is that.
Correct.
So, I am kind of more curious about the legal end of not being a paved road and that, if there's anything that. I don't know.
I've been thinking on that a little bit more because it didn't initially dawn on me that there wouldn't be coverage for off-road incidents. I think you're totally right. I think in a lot of situations, most insurance policies wouldn't cover that. I'm not super concerned so long as we post it and tell people that they're proceeding at their own risk and just be super crystal clear. That to me resolves that issue. I mean, people could still technically try to sue the city, but it's pretty hard to come back at the city if there's a giant sign that says use at your own risk. I think that should remove a lot of that chance. I'm not saying
Yeah,
it couldn't happen, but I think the probability is a lot lower.
And I'm concerned about it attracting a lot of off-road activity in that area as well.
Yeah, and then the times when it is raining and there's mud, the track out on the highway is another big concern I have, because that's going to create a mess no matter what. People get in that habit. The big thing I guess the big thing I'm worried about is we're going to open it, close it, open it, close it. People's routine is never going to be the same because weather or whatever reasons, then the developer's going to close it to work on it. And so it's just going to be this continual back and forth battle of opening and closing that I don't know if we want to get into as a city.
Those residents that, find themselves going through that open and close routine, they're going to be just as unhappy about that as they are by not having it at all.
Exactly.
So that's just my opinion on this.
Chuck, what's your opinion? You live on Westfield.
Oh, yeah, so does he, basically.
You have the same
And so do
opinion?
you.
I do.
Well, and where we live, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't
It doesn't matter one bit. It's just all the way out to Grassy Lane, those homes that are on the other end of Grassy
All I
Lane.
know, we've been back and forth with this thing for, 80 million years, trying to decide how we're gonna do it, and when we're gonna do it. And people who don't want
What do
to
you mean
close
by-
are gonna just make it open again anyhow.
What do you mean by when we are going to do it? Because it's really, private property. It's not
Oh,
we
yeah.
as the city, so.
But the average citizen in the city, they look at it as theirs and they want to see it open and they make all this noise about it. And we've been talking about different things for so long about how it was going to be opened and by who and who was going to pay for it. If people want to go in and out of it, let them go in and out of it. And
So would you ascertain, and could we do something like this? I mean, you see some of the roads around and it says something to the effect of, this is a non-maintained city licensed road, use at your own risk. And that's
well, you
all
see
it
those all the
says.
way up and down the old
That's what I mean,
91.
can we say something like that and just leave it?
I don't want the city to officially make that kind of a statement, but it's very probable that there might be people that will be using that without permission.
Well, that's what I mean, this is.
They already
this is
do,
a city-
and they're
yeah.
gonna keep doing that.
Right.
They're gonna keep going
So-
out there at night and digging holes and driving.
Yeah, so if we say this is a city licensed road that is not maintained, use at your own risk, period.
I don't know if I'd go so far as to say like a city road. I'd probably just say
No.
this road is not maintained, use at your own risk or something
It's-
like that.
I don't think we should even say it's a road.
Well, because it is gonna be, if we open it, it's gonna be a city licensed road, is it
The
not?
city has a
That's-
license to use that
So that's
area
the
for public.
terminology.
Yeah, I think it's just, maybe it doesn't matter, but in my head, I'm like, I don't know that it's necessary for the city to claim that, but I see your point. You're kind of like potato, doesn't make
Yeah.
a difference.
Bottom line is, it's considered trespassing right now. They've
Right.
been trespassing,
Correct.
those that have been using it. And the risk is all theirs when they're trespassing. And if they decide to continue to do that, then that's their problem between the landowner and them. I don't know that I would like to see the city involved in any way
Yeah,
or have any liability or have any cost in maintaining that road.
I understand completely what you're saying, but it's the city that closed off both ends of it, correct?
Yeah,
So the city.
by request of the
Yeah, so the city
contractor.
already has a.
But that was by the request of the
Yeah, and so we're,
Yeah, but-
we're approaching the period where the contractor's ready to pull off the project. And so that's another impetus for this consideration is that what happens now?
Yeah, I mean, playing the alternative been, yeah, okay, you guys are the construction company. Firelight, you're the property owner. You set up the gates, you close it off. It's your property, but we did it for them. So
They're not going
then we're in a, pardon me, Joey?
to, the property owner's not going to come out here and close off the road.
Well, no, but I'm
They're
just
gonna say,
saying it's their
they're
property, so
They're going
they,
to say, don't use it.
yeah, but it's their property. They can get it off or however we want to do it unless we're concerned with having two exits. So if we're concerned with that, then that's another issue, so.
So just so you know, one of the reasons that the excavator, the construction company asked to have it closed was because of the maintenance of mud being tracked out
Sure.
and then having to deal with that. And they, technically they still have ownership of the road until they're finished.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah,
So-
sure. And that was part of what you said before with the rocks and stuff getting brought onto the or the parkway,
Yeah.
and also with the mud and everything else. So, yeah,
That could be problematic right there.
right.
Yeah, that'll turn back to our responsibility.
Correct.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just,
Let's ask Mr. Wallace, he lives out there.
Well, if it's not being used by everybody, I won't get the traffic in front of my house. So I don't have a big issue with that. However, I do think that having a second exit, particularly from my end of Westfield, is really important. Also, there's a couple other roads in town that are on the map and they're open. If you look at Pioneer Road, it comes off by Doug Henderson's house. And I've used it in my Jeep a number of times. I run that road and it comes into the boulevard. That's a city road that's on the map and there's no issues with that. I'm not too sure about Spring Drive after the pavement before you get to BLM land. And there's probably some other, the one that goes from Choga Creek up the hill and round behind Diamond G.
yeah,
Hunter's
That's
Land.
another one. So there's a number of ones that fall into that category, I think, that probably aren't as important as the Westfield second exit.
right. When you say important, it wouldn't, they normally don't have as much traffic as Westfield would potentially
Yeah,
have.
once they open that, pretty much everybody, I mean, I've been both ways. Pretty much everybody from Blade's house, the mailboxes there my way are going to use that.
Mhm.
I'm not going to both, you're probably going to use it. I mean, it's easier than going all the way down through town. But if it doesn't happen for a while, it just means I have less traffic. So I kind of see both sides of it, but I do think there's other precedents in the city with dirt roads that don't have signs and that we have to maintain them in bad weather. Maybe you can negotiate with the contractor to furnish the base, and that would lessen the, get the base down. So, and they're gonna have to have base there anyway when they put the highway in. And that would be a lot less maintenance, and if you look at what it would cost in the maintenance with the mud, and close it off, if they just based that and left it a dirt road, like there were a whole bunch of them in southern Utah, it would be a lot less
Yeah.
maintenance problem and probably save money.
It still
And I don't
needs,
think that they're
yeah,
willing
it
to
still
do
needs a
that.
bunch of utilities in there and the grit subgrade's not at the right level. So putting base on it would just be throwing the money away.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
problem there. The other thing too is you got to think about people using that dirt road at night where there's no lighting whatsoever.
I have another comment since you mentioned that. I had a fellow come to my house to pick up a motorcycle from Oregon. And he got in at 10 o'clock at night. And before he got there, I looked at my map just to make sure that I could tell him where I was at. And if you Google coming down I-15, it will take you through Westfield Road off the bypass.
Yeah.
I mean, you can pull it up right now. I mean, on mine, that's where it tells me to go. And so if somebody comes in there with a big trailer, a horse trailer, and they make that turn and the road's blocked off, they're gonna be backing up into traffic on the bypass road. I sent an email to the mayor the day that happened. I actually sent the guy a text message and told him, I says, don't go that way. And that was before Tocqueville Boulevard was open. They were still doing the construction. And I told him to go all the way down and come around so that he wouldn't get in that issue. But I could see at nighttime that that could be a dangerous situation, particularly with a truck and a big trailer.
Well, that's a good point.
But it's still on the map.
Do we have any way of knowing how we can get a hold of Google to make sure that they don't direct traffic
We can
down that
We
dirt
can
road?
send a request to them. It's through the dispatch, through Washington County Dispatch is one of the avenues. It's kind of interesting because people, before the bypass was open, It was sending people through Shangri-La onto the bypass
Oh,
road
uh-huh.
and things like that. So it goes off of algorithms. And so somebody did it once. And so then it continues this is the way it was explained to me, is those algorithms, do that, they'll create
Mhm.
that. And so I think even Stanley, their inspectors had to tell multiple people to get off the parkway before it was open, that it'd come through
Okay.
Shangri-La Valley and up and in to the parkway.
All right.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. On the Google Maps, from Stout Brothers to one of the houses on the end there at Westfield, it sends you through dirt Westfield to get
Yeah.
there, so.
All right. Is that something the city could handle then?
Yeah, I mean, we can make an effort.
We can make that request, definitely.
Okay. Thank you for that comment, Bruce. Yeah. Okay. Any more discussion on this? Are we ready for a motion or what?
I know Wayne's against it too, just so you know. He doesn't want us to just put money on expenditures for it.
Mhm. I would go ahead and move that we would deny business item F3, approving the MOU for Westfield Connector Road access.
I'll second the item.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
No.
Okay, next item on the agenda. Discussion and possible action on ordinance 2025.XX Almond Heights subdivision plat amendment.
I can introduce this one. This is an ordinance, and we changed it from amending the plat to vacating a portion of it. So it's speaking to the lots that are up there near Westfield, right where we were talking about, that drop off the cliff there, down to the pond in the bottom. And so this vacation just takes the back half of those lots and gives them to, it's the same property owner on both sides, to the bottom half, so that when those lots are sold, they're not dropping off the cliff. So it just vacates a portion of those lots, doesn't change anything. It's still in compliance with all of zoning.
Still
And
keeps it in R120.
Yep, it does. It's been a longstanding issue because of the topography in that area, so it's just remedying that problem.
Ready for motion, discussion?
I just had one comment, I think, if I get on the right page. On the recital, Ben, did you guys change that, or there was two,
Yeah, there were
Because
some
it-
recommended
the
changes.
two survivabilities? got changed?
Severabilities were
Okay, because it wasn't updated.
there
in
was
our packet.
duplication. It's updated now.
It's updated now. It
Yeah.
wasn't updated to our packet, so, okay.
Yeah.
As long as it's done, that's fine. Sorry, go ahead, Joe.
Mayor Pro Tem, I'll make a motion to approve ordinance 2025.XX amending the.
Oh, one thing I'll say, sorry.
Oh.
So if we approve this ordinance, one thing we need to do is make sure that so let me back up a little bit. So this statute gives city council the authority to vacate a portion of the subdivision. So what we need to attach as an exhibit is a map showing that vacation. And we had a map prepared that was more of like an amended plat. So we'll probably have to work with the county to make sure we get the verbiage right so that they accept it as a vacation of a subdivision. So I would just suggest if we approve this that we have Darren and Emily work with the county to make sure we get the
Verbiage correct?
verbiage correct, the map correct
And
as
the
far as
document.
Exhibit A goes.
Is it the verbiage
Yeah, well,
related to the description?
It would be the portions that's vacated, so we're not going to do a plat amendment. We're going to vacate a portion of the plat.
So we'll have to change the name of the map that we're submitting to like partial vacation of subdivision.
Yeah.
And just work with the county to make sure that it meets their requirements, because this ordinance will ultimately be recorded. The ordinance itself gets recorded, and that's what vacates a portion of the subdivision.
Okay.
So,
So in short, just on the condition that Darren and Emily will work with the county to update that
no problem.
map to comply.
I'd make a motion to approve ordinance 2025.XX, amending the Almond Heights subdivision plat and with the
Vacating, sorry. We
vacating.
don't, not amending at all.
It says amending on here. Oh, yeah. With, as long as staff works with the county to make sure that everything's proper,
With respect to the exhibits, yeah.
as she said it.
motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Well, this is a financial.
Yeah, let's do a roll call
Okay.
vote.
We need to do a roll call.
Me? Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Okay, so moved. Next item on the agenda would be the employee policies and procedures. Should I call this a handbook?
Yeah, it's, yeah.
Handbook for
Tuesday handbook.
new and existing employees. So we've discussed this item on several occasions. Have been changes that have been made. And I think we were ready to vote on it the last time, but the write-ups and the changes weren't quite done yet. So we're ready now to go ahead and ask for a motion on this item here or have any other discussion on it.
I move that we adopt this employee policy procedures handbook.
Okay, I would second that motion.
It's fixed.
All in favor? Any
Aye.
discussion?
Oh, no.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so moved. Okay, we'll be doing roll call votes on the remainder of the items here. So when we have a motion to approve, or we would go ahead and do a roll call. Starting with item number 6, approval on supplemental agreement number 7 from Stanley Consultants in the amount of $160,000.
So
Does anybody want to fill in or do we just want to discuss?
I can, or if you
Yes.
want any type of, Bob is here from Stanley
Mhm.
as well. Basically, the agreement that we had with them is we're out of contract right now. So we need to amend that so that we can get through to the end of the year. Essentially, there are a few cleanup things, even though we expect to be done with construction in the next month or less. We're hoping there are requirements that UDOT will require. And I believe Bob could probably talk more to that if you wanted to ask him more questions, or if you'd like him to come to the mic and speak.
Can we negotiate since you're here, like 159.9? Let's like go back and forth a little bit.
Totally fine.
I'm just kidding.
It's mostly just kind of like a not to exceed contract so that.
Yeah,
because
same as
right
last
now,
time.
Since the end of August, we're beyond what
Yeah.
funds have been set aside.
This is the second one I think we've done since I know of or something. But I think there's a lot more than that. Number 7, yeah.
Sadly, this is number 7.
Yeah, it sucks, but I don't
So,
have any questions.
Let me get this clear in my head. We have a contract that has an expiration date on it. But within the context of that contract, there are certain items that have to be completed. So are we saying that those items were not completed, but because the contract expired, that you're no longer responsible for completing them?
So the two items of the contract are time and dollars. And so the contract was written with the not to exceed amount up until the end of August of 2025. So this is saying that this is increasing that not to exceed amount and then adding funds to that and adding time to that as well.
Same ones we've done. So what he's doing is he's administrating the job, right? So the job is continued on past August. So we thought the job may be done in August, but since the north slope, the south slope, his inspectors are still out there inspecting. They're still making sure things are happening proper and done.
Mhm.
So what we're doing is extending his contract because the project's extended.
And then as the contract finishes, there'll be some documentation and things like that UDOT will make sure we have in place. And so we'll continue to work with them to make sure that all gets work out. I'm hoping to be well underneath this amount, and so, yeah, if you guys feel like you need some less. I'm happy to-
I just wanted to try to get some fun stuff in there.
But we just, like I said, we've been beyond the contract since the end of August. So,
There's a zero missing on the sheet, so I think if we go to that number, then I'll be happy.
There's a zero missing. Don't scare me like that.
It's on the agenda only, not an.
Oh,
And I just, thanks for Emily for putting all the background information. I asked her just to see it.
Ready for motion?
Yeah.
Mayor Pro Tem, I make a motion to approve the supplemental agreement number 7 with Stanley Consulting up to $160,000, but not to exceed.
okay, roll call.
Need a second?
Second. Did you second that?
Yes.
Yeah. Roll
Aye.
call.
Aye.
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 Okay, so moved. 7, approving change order number 21 in the amount of $16,466.01 for JP Excavating for additional work on items associated with the power line relocation.
If you'd like, I can speak to that. Essentially, when as change order number, was it 13? Change order number 13 was the change order to relocate the power that went across the cut. Rocky Mountain Power, so we met probably this time last year to do that. At the time, we got a bid price from Judd Palmer, and that was in that that change order number 13. When they got in there and they started doing the actual construction to relocate that by the cemetery there and coming across, they found out that for the developer gave the easement, or the property owner, I should say, across the north field of the cemetery there, gave that easement, but they had their engineering had already been designed, and so they said that we would love to have the easement, put the power line, or give you the easement, but put the power line in as our construction plans. Their construction plans were significantly lower, almost as you see across that field, probably almost 5 feet. And so they didn't anticipate that. So that's part of this change order. There's some asphalt and the 4-foot switch vault that they put there. They put it at existing grade because it's in the existing roadway there now. And so there's a basement underneath that vault that comes down, and it's significantly deep. It's probably close to 5 feet deep underneath there. So that when the developer comes in and does that subdivision, it will be at the correct grade. They'll just lower that vault down and the basement will go away. So that's the 3 items that you can see in the change order.
They total 16,466. Those
Correct.
4 items.
3 items, yes.
Okay.
Yes. And they were above and beyond what change order 13 was.
Okay.
These were different. These were things that were unforeseen at the time.
Okay, do I have a motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we approve the change order number 21 in the amount of $16,466.01.
Second. Okay. Roll call. We'll start with you this time, Chuck.
Yes.
Aye.
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 Motion approved. Approving change order number 22 in the amount of $126,060.54 from JP Excavating for additional traffic control through August of 2025.
Correct. So on this one is basically all of that you've seen on that south entrance or that south tie-in. Essentially, the last change order that we got from them was essentially, as it says there, as change order number 16 was to get traffic control through the end of August. The concern there is it's now gone beyond August, but we did not. This change order would cover that price to that, and so it does come out to the $126,000. I can't remember. it was 123 days. So the start date was at 5/1 of 25 through 8/31/25. So that's what that covered. We'd
Okay,
hoped
so the
that they would be done.
126,
Yeah,
the
sorry.
126 is for the month of August then, or?
No, it's for, the start time was 5/1/25. So May
Mhm.
through August of this year.
Okay,
They had hoped that we'd be done by August. We're gonna probably exceed that by a couple of months.
So we'll get another one of these.
We will
For
get
the same
another, we
thing,
will
right?
get another one. It's just, they had hoped to be done.
so this change order started in May, did you say?
It should have, yes.
Okay, and we're just now seeing it after the fact then, like we've had in the past?
Yes.
Okay. Is there anything being done to make sure moving forward that that's not going to happen?
So right now, in August, we're out of August now. We know that we're going to be into probably the end of October here now, maybe even the first couple of weeks of November. So
On
we're
that
gonna, on that south
South
end.
end?
Yeah, because they are still finishing the retaining wall and they've got to finish the intersection of Trail Ridge Estates, tying in the asphalt, doing the striping and a few things such as that. The contractors, their calendar right now is the end of October, but they said there's probably a couple small items that they're going to need to do. There was a pad or something this morning. What was that? The pad,
The monument slab is
the monuments.
between the retaining wall and the barrier.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah. So there's a few things there still that they're going to do. So it will take this, and there will be another change order on this type of deal. Is they don't want to. I think why we haven't received and I don't know. I'd have to stop. Is why we haven't received one to go to the end of the project is because they're not exactly sure within probably a couple of weeks of where they're going to be on that last one.
okay.
And I don't know exactly why this didn't get in front of you guys by the start of 5/1 May.
The
Okay,
biggest reason is because we have, with change order, what was it 15,
16, I believe.
16, we
16.
set this up. And so we could have done this, added this additional money for that traffic control just by ordering that item. But because of the dollar amount, it's recommended that we bring it to you guys so you see it rather than just, over on that item.
okay. Any discussion on this item?
I'll make a motion. You ready? I'll make a motion to approve change order number 22 in the amount of $126,060.54.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Roll call vote. Start with you, Joey.
Aye.
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 Okay, motion approved. Discussion item, possible action on change order 23 in the amount of $15,940.14 from JP Excavating for North Pond access and repair of damaged pavement at the north slope.
Okay, so I can speak to this a little bit of, basically, so the North Pond access was Bob Litchfield's property there, or the Litchfield property. By putting the parkway in, it severed his access from the big barn that's down there that goes up to his pond, that North Pond. And so essentially UDOT said, hey, we need to be able to give him another access to be able to get there. So what they did is they put an access that comes along Shangri-La Road, which is the entrance to that one home on the north side of the parkway. And then he was okay with just going a dirt road down to the existing old pavement there that would take you up to his North Pond. So that was installed and done. And then the repair for the damage on the pavement, that is when that big rock rolled down, as well as because they had paved, they'd come through there and you paved. And then we started realizing that we needed to cut back the north slope as well. So as they did that, it damaged some of the asphalt along the cut as well as coming around the corner and heading up. So that's what that is for. And that is in the dollar amount of $15,940.14.
Okay. Any discussion?
And all of these have been approved by our resident engineer as well as the contractor, and UDOT reviews these as well.
Okay. Looking for a motion?
I'll make a motion that we approve business item number 9, change order 23 in the amount of $15,940.14.
Second.
Okay, roll call vote. Start with you, Joey.
Aye.
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 Aye. Okay, motion approved. These items that we just discussed for additional funds for the highway, just FYI for those citizens that are viewing on YouTube and present, those funds will be coming out of a different account. It will not affect any of the city's budget or increase property taxes or anything like that. If the city's concerned about us spending this tremendous amount of money that we just got done doing, it's all related to the bypass funds. Going on, calendar of events, the Halloween storytelling event, Saturday, October 25th, starts at 4 o'clock at the Old Town Hall. The 4th annual Halloween trunk or treat, Saturday, October 25th at 6 p.m. at the church parking lot. And the Washington County Walking Tour, Saturday, November the 8th at 10 a.m.
You know what that's about?
Does anyone?
I do. It's something that the county's doing as part of kind of recognizing the history of Washington County. So they're going throughout each community, and there are, I forget who the community member is who is doing the walkthrough, but basically kind of giving a historic tour of Tokerville. It's the idea there.
So 10 o'clock they meet here?
Correct.
Okay.
Okay, so that's a Tokerville walking tour then,
It is.
through the historical buildings,
I don't know if they're going through the buildings. I
Just down
don't.
the street.
Yeah.
just down the street,
Mhm.
and explaining the history of each one of the buildings.
Right.
Okay, sounds interesting. Okay, is there a need for a closed meeting this evening? I hear none.
No.
Move we adjourn.
I need a motion.
One thing, just want to commend the Public Works for the cleanup after our little storm here, especially in TRE, getting out and the stuff on the streets, and also in Choya with Leonard Lane and all that stuff. So the guys were out that night and the next day and the next day and the next day. So
How much work did Public Works have to do as a result of the storm?
It's ongoing. That I think the biggest area damage sustained to the community was the Trail Ridge Estates Park. That's going to be. I haven't talked to JD about how long he expects it to take, but it'll be multiple months of work. There's quite a bit of damage. There's a lot of water flowing through there, a lot of sediment left. It's likely that we kind of take another look at the landscape through that area in anticipation of future flooding, and kind of maybe make it a little more minimalistic so that future repair costs aren't as much. But that's kind of we'll have more to come on that.
Mhm. Okay. Sounds good. Did I hear a motion? Motion to adjourn?
Yes.
Do I have a second?
sure, second.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Meeting closed.
Aren't you happy about that?